crap until
Yeah.
we're ready. We are live, by the way.
Oh, right. Okay.
But
Uh,
usually, yeah, we just talk about random crap. Like, I think one time we were just talking about our favorite Pokemon pre-stream,
I mean,
and it's
so
like,
what's your favorite Pokemon then, gamer?
it's definitely
Oh, wait,
Quilava.
wait, hang on. Oh,
Like,
Lugi's
come
joined.
on.
Oh,
What is better
sad.
than Quilava? It's so cool.
Yeah, but you say that, but then you forget Bidoof exists. No?
Oh my God, fucking Bidoof.
Yo, don't
Don't round
you
Bidoof.
can't hate Bidoof. You can't hate Bidoof. Come on.
No one can
Or
hate
Bidoof, I
Bidoof.
should say.
Yo, welcome, George. Welcome. We're
Well,
wait
hello.
for some more people to come in. I have Atomika here with me. We're gonna be doing some
Yes, hello.
maybe slightly more chill casting, I guess. I don't know. Like,
Uh, I can get very hyped very quickly depending on how good the play is. So it may not be, it may be
like
chill from your perspective, but for me,
I don't know. It's River bracket, so they're all pretty
oh,
close from the seams of things.
so this is my scouting for uh, when I have to play, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
These games are resident
perfect
sleeper.
timing.
Oh no. That's what we
Oh
want to
no.
hear.
Basically,
Like,
George, I wonder what happened. You're making me
wonder what
wonder.
happened. I already heard what happened. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh no.
I'll leave it to see your actual reaction. Thanks for the follow,
Right. Okay.
Spartingen? I don't know how to say your name. We'll wait for maybe
Start
like
engine. Yeah.
10 people and then we can just go because it was supposed to be at 6 and then I couldn't be bothered to load up like the usual music and just let people build up. So we're just having a nice chat beforehand. Um,
Yeah, we were.
anyway,
I'll
I
go
don't
grab
know.
myself my drink.
Yeah,
So
you do that. I'll do a bit of an intro. So Valkyrie
all right.
5,
Okay. I'll leave it to
uh,
you.
Valkyrie 5 yet to play. Their these were their first two games. Young Prodigies, these were games 3 and 4 for them. They did lose the first two against Madly Mediocre. So they're trying to bounce back here, pick up their first win. Valkyrie 5 wanted to come out of the gates feeling strong. We do have an extremely close set so far. No team has dominated. No team has managed to go 4-0 yet. Um, so there's still 3 wins different right now between the bottom and the top. And after this, it's possible that could be a 2 win difference even. We could just, if both of Valkyrie 5 and Young Prodigies come out of this game with a win, there'll only be 2 games between first and fifth in the River League. Very close. Um, in terms of what we're expected to see, Young Prodigies have been having a little bit of a rougher time so far. Or from where we saw them, they had a little bit of a rougher time against Madly Mediocre, but Madly Mediocre currently sitting at the top of the table. So this could be somewhat, well, this could be a very close match. This could be a complete stomp. It's hard to see. We'll have to see what strategies are pulled out here by Young Prodigies, if they have something ready in store or not. And I do think, well, we did hit 10 people and then we've gone back down to 9. That happens. If
Ah,
you are back, if you are here and ready, I think though we can just go straight to the game.
yeah.
Let me just get rid of this spam in the chat. Easy, there we go.
I didn't even notice. Okay.
Mia had it perfect, easy. Um, I gotta remember which game to have everything in the right place. I think this is the right one. Yeah,
Whatever
okay. So
the
in the
lower
first
number is.
game, V5 chose well, V5 were on the blue side and Young Prodigies were on the red side. I do actually have the bands for you. There we go.
Oh,
Amazing. Not scuffed at all. So we can see these bands. A lot of pressure coming out from the blue side V5 um, towards that bottom lane. They really didn't want I make to get.
be very careful there. Yeah.
Oh, I should
They
have.
really did not want his Kaiser.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
believe
from
he
the
got to
name,
play it last series.
I think so, and it looked pretty good. So obviously,
Yeah.
coming off of that, I
Very,
just
very
think,
nice.
why give it to him at all? They also banned away that Renekton from Japoi. On the other side, we saw more bans coming out kind of all over the place. Fizz getting banned away, Senna and Camille.
Yeah.
So definitely, I guess, taking away some things they just really don't want to play against.
Very, very strong pick champs there being banned out, especially with the Camille and the Fizz. They can pick off an opponent. I guess they just really did not want to face that at all.
Yep, and taking out the Morgana and the Akali. Um, the Atomika is a bit quiet. I will turn him up.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
very sorry.
there we go. Just wait until
Oh,
we're in game. You
yes.
won't be saying he's quiet there. We'll find out. Yeah, so on to the picks. V5 did manage to get their hands on the Kale. This keeps making its way through band phase. I don't know how. Keeps getting picked up. Kale is being piloted this time into Japoy's Jax. Jax apparently is one of the biggest counters to Kale. Does have that counter strike to block a lot of her damage. Does have the jump to engage quite easily. So we'll have to see how this goes. If Japoy's does manage to bully out the Kale at all. In the jungle matchup, we do have Brands there on the Skarner up against O'Neill's Jarvan, two kind of more ganking junglers, not hard carries. They're just going to be mostly the setup for, for the rest of the team. Dot following along with that philosophy in the mid lane, taking the Galio, something again more roaming, more kind of setup.
Two very, very strong team fighting comps. So we're
And
gonna be hopefully seeing some good team
good
fights.
team fights. Yeah, Youngskang got
Yeah.
his hands on the Orianna, so just a really solid pick in that mid lane. We also have iMake gets the Ashe after all of the rest of those ADCs were banned out, which will be paired with the Leona. That's quite a strong pick kill lane. Whereas on the other side, Tenno has his hands on the Ezreal, very safe ADC, and Buffalo Goose is playing the Nautilus, so that gives them a bit of catch potential. I do notice the first thing I can see looking at these two comps is there's a big wombo combo here on the side of V5. You have that Jarvan,
Yeah.
and you have the Galio to jump onto him, and you also have the Kale to shove her ult onto the Jarvan, keep him alive, put all that damage down as well.
Yeah. And also the Nautilus depth charge can hit anyone, even out of the Jarvan ult. So anyone that's attempting to get away can't really. It's just a really nice wombo combo there. Really looking, I guess, to keep the team fight short and sweet. Get rid of the carries, pick them off, and then just steamroll the game
Yep,
through those sort of plays. Whereas on the side of Young Prodigies, you've got the more, I guess, sustained team fight with the Jax, especially running Conqueror, the Ashe. She'll just have DPS for however long she can throw it out for. The Orianna providing that, I guess, essentially burst damage, really, with the Shockwave.
burst
And the
damage.
Leona, obviously, and
Yeah,
the Skarner, Impale and Solar Flare, two very, very powerful abilities, especially for zone control.
it's definitely Oriana's sustained damage is not something to be underestimated as well. Her if she does get the space to auto attack, she can actually put down a lot of damage just with those autos. And also the shield. When she has her ball on someone, the amount of extra resistances that provides does give you a lot of that extra value that you really love to look for. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
the other big thing is there is a slight wombo on the side of Young Prodigies as well. You can pull someone back with the Skarner and then shove the Orianna ult on top. There's a lot of these high CC champions, so definitely more of a sort of pick comp. Might find it a little hard to pick out the Ezreal on the other team, especially when he also has that cleanse. But I guess all we can do is see how the game plays out. Any last thoughts you want to shove in there before we start the game?
No, none at all, really.
Okay,
Guess
I'll
I covered it all.
get rid of this. And then what we do is we count down and then we press play at
Oh,
the same time so
I
we're
get
in
rid of
sync. I am on 3 seconds to start and I can't really bring up
it. Right.
the thing without giving away
Yeah.
stuff. Um,
I've don't worry. I've gone to 3 seconds. So
Perfect. Okay, so three,
okay.
two,
3,
one,
2,
go.
1, go.
Okay, as we load into game, we can have a look at what everyone is picking up as their items. Um, Nothing really too surprising. It is the Doran's shield for the Ezreal rather than the Doran's blade, wanting to survive a little bit of that early dominance from the Ashe, the early poke that does come out. Not too surprising there. We do get a corrupting pot on the Orianna, so I'd expect to see quite heavy trades early on. Really try and punish
Yeah.
this Galio pick. champion.
Yeah.
Not really ranged, doesn't have very good engage until level 3. I do
Yeah,
find it
absolutely.
interesting Doran's Blade on the Jax. What do you think about that?
I find that interesting as well. Really, I can see why. Because if he ever gets a Counter Strike stun off, he can deal quite a lot of damage, especially with that extra damage and the Omnivamp. He can get a bit of lifesteal. So I guess that's really for survivability from the minions. But I believe that Doran's shield would have been a better option for all the poke from Kale. But I guess Jepoy has a lot of faith in his Jax to
Yep.
stomp the lane, I guess.
So, bug spotters. Interesting bug that I've seen is all of Skarner's crystals are invisible until they've been taken the first time.
Oh,
I just saw that both of those, the ones in the river, only appeared after being taken. And they
I
both
did
appear
not.
to be blue, which is interesting bugs. Yeah, I
Yes.
would have expected to see the corrupting pot on the Jax. It gives him more of that sustain into the possible poke that might come out from the Kale Q early, meaning she can't really spam that. Maybe have a gank in his mid lane though.
Oh, very early gank from Jarvan here. That this could be first blood here.
Yeah, that flash forwards to.
Yeah, first blood.
Ooh, and then
Very nice.
yeah, that
Early
final
gank
tower
there.
shot, not quite managing to come out and pick up O'Neal. Yeah, that was interesting. There's clearly something that was planned, taking the um, stun
Taking
first,
the taunt
taunt
first, yeah.
first on the Galio. You
Absolutely.
see Japoy hit level 2 first, and he's bullying
Yeah,
George out of
the
this lane.
Jax. George got stunned by the Jax, I believe, which led to the uneven trade for him. And Jax now, with the lane pressure, can just shove it in and try and grab some vision, which he does. Gets it Riverside as Jarvan. He knows Jarvan's on the top side, so covering himself for one of those ganks there. As we see
Ooh,
Skarner coming in behind the Ezreal and Nautilus here. Leona missing the E forward and Nautilus getting a hook on the Skarner. Ezreal Eing away here. The stun lands on the Nautilus and he flashes away. I'd say very good gank there. It was just a shame that the Leona missed the E engage on the Ezreal. Otherwise, I think that's a very different story.
yeah, and
Uh,
getting the flash out of the Nautilus is always really good. It just means that he definitely can't do any of these flash engages, and it makes him a little bit easier to abuse in that lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Oriana obviously just getting doing a bit of bullying on the Galio as we expected and discussed pre-match. Galio's not having the best of times, and Jarvan securing that top scuttle while Skarner's on the top side taking his red. Jax is looking really to contest that, but scouts out that Jarvan's on the top side, ensuring that the bot lane can now push up and attempt to get some wave control.
Please, camera, show us where the action's actually happening. So this is the
So just
interesting
all
part is
information.
Jarvan there started parking down towards the mid lane, but Young Skeng knew to hold towards the bottom side of the lane, which just kept him safe. O'Neal trying to walk in there, have a look into the jungle, but doesn't manage to spot out Brands in time to take anything away. Brands is a little bit behind right now on the CSing and the level XP. This partly to do with that first blood kill and some of the
Yeah,
XP that was picked up from the ganks. Japoy here is just pushing George in over and over. It's not really getting him anything. You can see the CS lead is
on the
actually in
Kale,
George's
yeah.
favor right now.
Absolutely, yeah. The Jax needs to do something to
This is the problem. I think he's trying
either.
to reset the wave off the tower, but it's just not resetting. He's not managing to get it in fast enough to reset that wave. So George is actually just managing to keep it here and CS up fairly easily with the help of his empowered attacks.
Yeah, absolutely. An interesting buy here that I just spotted was Galio buying the Barmy Cinder. He's potentially looking for a turbo chem tank, which is more associated with, I guess, support Galio or a more heavily engaged focused Galio than a pick Galio. So
Yeah, so
that's a
definitely looking towards that more tank style build. He's just wanting to. He's realizing we have an Ezreal for damage. We have the Kale for damage. You know what? I can probably afford to go tank here. I'll still output some damage, and we have a nice mixed amount. Realizing he doesn't need to be completely squishy.
And Jarvan here is pinging for a gank on the mid lane. As Oriana doesn't really know it's coming, even though she has seen him on a wood, and Galio looks for the engage, but Oriana playing that safe distance there,
O'Neal
that
is
range.
coming in.
Oh, he's coming in anyway. Oh, and
Does
he's
get
got
the
the
knock-up.
airborne, but there's no taunt to follow up as he'd used it before. And Oriana now just potentially getting is getting some free damage off, and with that corrupting pop, makes it an even trade on the opposing laner. And Skarner and Jarvan are gonna have a nice clash in the jungle there. Oh no, Jarvan's just running away. Just I guess scouting for vision, scouting for some information, so they know where Skarner is. Bot lane bot lane for B5 take a nice reset, and the wave here is really big on the top side that's been shoved in by George.
Yeah, he needs to get this in. If Japoy did manage to freeze that, and that'd be an absolute disaster for him because you do not want to be pushed up on the Kayle. Kayle really
Absolutely,
not
yeah.
a safe champion.
Skarner here is looking for a gank on the Galio.
So it's one of the harder people to gank. It'll be interesting if they manage to get anything.
His flash coming up and he has the e-mobility, but Skeng instead pushing the wave in.
I think maybe they just want to get a good reset here for the Oriana. She started by building a tier, so definitely a more scaling build coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mana problems on mid laners have become quite frequent now, especially those that used to benefit from, I believe, mana. The Luden's Tempest now doesn't give any mana.
It does. Yeah, it gives like 600 mana that you still build the Lost Chapter and get quite a bit of mana.
Yeah, it's all...
Um,
just mana seems a bit of a problem in general after the new items for mid laners, but Leona here just, V5, looking for control of that Drake, have control of the Skarner Spire as well, so Skarner can't really trade effectively or really engage effectively without that speed boost or attack
Chalice.
speed bonus, and I believe this is just going to be given over by Young Prodigies.
Yeah, that's a really nice Drake to have, especially for your Kayle. That will help keep her alive through lane. It means that the Jax can't really go for these shorter trades to just get a bit of damage and back off, because most of that will be healed back up. And now they are just invading this jungle as
Bullying.
for... Oh! I think I actually did manage to pick up that blue buff there. There's an engage in top lane though.
Yeah, Jax misses the counter strike, so this should really be free for Kayle, but misses the kill and he leaps back on top of Kayle. This could be a kill. They
250 health.
They both have flashes, but force him to burn the ult. Jax backs off. That's a really nice ultimate to get. I mean, you could probably get a play for Herald from it, but it's still a nice ultimate for him to get in lane.
So unfortunately here, the wave he had was quite big, so he's going to have to push that in. There's no chance of him being able to freeze it and force the Kayle to TP out. Looks like she'll TP anyway, wanting to pick most of that up. But that means you have got the Kale's TP, she can't TP anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. She's sort of stuck to her lane now, really just attempting to farm up and grab that level 11 where she becomes an actual champion. But really nothing much going on in terms of the map. It's just how we almost expected it to play out. But Leona here looking for an engage, gets a stun on the Nautilus. Nautilus is just
That's a lot of damage.
Cannot do anything. Galio TP's in and a flash away from the Leona. Enchanted Crystal comes in the stun and the double TP, but nothing much comes of it because the TPs were just a tad bit too late. A shockwave coming in from Oriana forces the Ezreal to flash away, and so just if the TPs were 1 or 2 seconds earlier. And an engage from the Galio there with the taunt. A nice E there. EQ from the Jarvan. Oh, and Leona's stunning the Jarvan. The Jarvan's gone in on the Ashe and gets the kill with the ult damage. And the Ignite taken away, but Jax lands on top of the Jarvan. And a flash E from Galio as Jax flashes away. The chilling smite coming down on Jax, and Jax is surely going to die. He takes can't even take Jarvan
cancelled
with
the
him,
last auto.
That is very unfortunate, as Skarner attempted to get a kill on the... Well, attempted to drag the Kayle back under tower, but Kayle, knowing that can't really do much, and then Skarner has to run away in fear.
It looked so
As
good from Young Prodigy. They played that pretty well. It would have been nice to have the TP a little bit earlier out for them, but they managed to turn it around and they got to that tower. And it was just the re-engage there from the side of V5 that really turned the tides of that and moved it back
the,
in favor of Valkyrie 5.
absolutely the I guess unseen damage of Jarvan, of Tank Jarvan coming in
Yeah, early
on
game
the Ash.
damage. Ugh.
This combo is disgusting. The airborne to the taunt, you just can't move. You'd probably would like to see the cleanse come out from the Ash because of it, especially in the late game. That cleanse can come in invaluable, or maybe even an early QSS would be good to attempt to get out of the taunt. But Leona here,
Well,
inting for a control ward.
no.
Ash comes in to attempt to help, but no, nothing really comes of it. Just poke damage on the Leona. That int for the control ward almost reminds me of my plays at support, really.
Tenno did choose to get that Mana Moon as quick as possible, wants to just get that stacked as soon as he can. Youngsgang now trying to get a trade onto Dart,
Yeah,
but
but Galio is so supremely tanky, especially now he's got no magic mantle. With a Barmy Cinder, his health bar just seems like it doesn't go down.
you can see
The
the
blue
fact
buff on the Galio.
yeah,
Oh, he's running. Oh no, is he?
he's been given
He
blue
could-
because he's not built any mana items yet, so that will just keep him topped up on that mana and allow him to basically just one-shot these waves with his combos.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
absolutely.
Attempts to
gonna
one-shot the waves.
Yeah, Tank Galio, not the best for one-shotting
Ooh,
waves,
the
but the
engage is
taunt
coming
coming
in.
in. The engage Jarvan here was a bit too far as the and the EQ combo, the shockwave. Surely that's going to be a
Nice
kill on the
flash out.
Galio. He gets the kill, but Kale comes in, and this is great roaming from the Kale as he gets the kill. That 100 CS of the kill, really allowing him to scale further. But the one-for-one trade on the mid laners, I believe that's more favourable for Valkyrie 5 because they
The
have
kill
that kill on the Kale.
is on the Kale, whereas the other kill went onto the Skarner, not who you want it on at all, really. The other big problem, well, the main problem with the TP play earlier was, although it was working out quite well, the fact they lost it means they lost it even harder, because it just gave Kale time to freely CS up in that top wave. And you can see she's opened up a big CS lead now on the Jax, and he's going to struggle to actually keep relevant compared to her.
Yeah, absolutely. The XP deficit as well that he'll be facing will mean that she'll just reach level 11 and he'll be forced to burn his Counter-Strike defensively rather than offensively, which he has been able to do earlier in the lane. But it's not looking good for Young Prodigies so far. You can tell what they're looking to do is very nice. The double TP play. It's just really a case of executing it effectively. Now, like as in the teleport could always come in 1 or 2 seconds earlier, but
It's only currently 1,000 gold deficit, most of that on the Jarvan and the Kale, or mostly split between the Jarvan and the Kale. So it's not the worst thing in the world, especially when the Jarvan's building tank Jarvan. Him having a bit of a lead doesn't really matter. The thing to really be scared of is the lead that the Kale has now built up.
yeah, absolutely. Just if a Kale gets a lead in lane, then something's not going right. Really, because of how weak her early game is and how really jungler dependent that she should be. But
This is the problem. A lot of people just choose to push into her over and over again, which is not really what you want to do. You want to pull her out from her tower because it allows you to zone her entirely off of the waves.
absolutely, yeah.
Ooh,
Not
O'Neal
much
is
really
here.
happening here. Just they're looking for forces the Ash burning. Heal
Burning-
very defensively there.
Yeah, didn't want that possible combo coming out from the Jarvan and locking her up. Just thinking, yeah, I'll get out of this one. I'll just use the heal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tenno being very aggressive with the arcane shifts. That's now down. In comes the Skarner, flashes
the Skarner
forwards.
here, he gets the impale using that turbo Ken tank as well to try and get that shockwave off, but a very defensive ult. Leona eating over the ult from Nautilus as a stun comes down. He ignites it for the kill from the Leona, and the Ashe is just stuck in the Jarvan ult. No escape with no flash, no CC for Leona to peel as they just come down. And O'Neal using the smite to secure the kill Orianna coming in. This should
She does have
be a
shockwave.
cleanup. And the shockwave only landing on the Nautilus, but still securing that kill. The Leona hitting the CC. Galio returning in
Oh,
with the
here's
taunt.
Kale.
And Kale has come in. This could just be a cleanup for Kale. And grants it over to Galio as Kale greedily goes for the Leona, who has the W mitigation. Under tower, uses the ult. I don't believe he'll be able to catch her. No. A misplay from Kale there could have easily got the kill.
This might allow Jax to get the first turret, actually. I'm not sure if it will go down before the bot. Yeah, it should go down before bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Ezreal not fast enough to defend that tower as...
Oh, no.
Kale.
Yeah, I didn't actually see where George TP'd from at that point, but I found it quite interesting. Depoy didn't actually choose to try and stop him.
I believe that the TP came from a ward just over the wall of Bush. So on the... It's been in the red team's blue side. Oh wait, where did he TP from?
From, yeah, because if that would have been an amazing TP teleport to interrupt there, because it puts you on top of Kale.
Yeah, as well, and she has no way to get out.
And keeps her from TPing.
Yeah.
Youngskang actually finding them out on the Herald here.
Yeah.
Nice sidestepping, but he's in a
ulted.
1v4.
This is not going to go well. Orianna being CC'd, but the ult damage coming out from Jarvan. Skarn has been locked up. He's not tanky enough yet. Jack's going in. What a counter-strike, gets 4 on, but there's no one there to follow up at all. So Leona just stands and watches idly by as Jax goes down, and it's 3 kills for nothing, and the Heralds...
That could have been a 1 for nothing. They could have left that as the 1 for nothing, allowed Ashe to pick up all that damage on the bottom tower, but they just kept going in, one after the other, thinking they could get something done, but that's just not going to happen.
Probably believe that they could get a trade out 1 for 1 maybe, or 1 for 2, but in the end it's just a 3 for nothing.
That is a middle turret, no plates. It's not first turret, so it's not the best use. They will get a lot of damage onto this second inner.
And there's an engagement of Leona here. The taunt comes out from the Galio. There's a 3-man stun and a great
massive
shockwave from
shockwave.
Orianna. The impale on the Skarner also locking down the Ezreal before he could even escape, and as Nautilus goes down to the Orianna, and surely the Galio will go down here as well. Stun, taunt coming out to attempt to save his life, but he can't get out, and that is a bit of an overstay from V5.
You know, Ashe did get a lot on her own in the bot lane, did also pick up that tower, has finally finished her mythic, the Immortal Shield Bow, I believe it's called.
Yes, I believe that would be for survivability on an end if they engage on top of her.
It's pretty much the only thing I see ADCs build. You sometimes see them build the Titan Slayer one or whatever it is. The one
Kraken
that does
Slayer,
Kraken Slayer does true damage if they're up against a lot of tanks, but otherwise you basically always see them build this if they're not building lethality. Interestingly, they are nerfing lethality on ranged champions next patch.
Kind of sad to see.
Yeah, and then they're also nerfing the 2 champions that were using it well, so I don't know why they're going so hard on the nerfs. Poor Jin and MF are just gonna fall off a cliff.
And red team there, I should say, Young Prodigies securing the Mountain Drake.
That's
very
pretty
nice. Big. That is the extra survivability, especially for the Ashe. If they get 4 Mountain Drakes, I believe, even with the power of the pit potential of this, or the isolation potential, I should say, of V5's comp, with the Jarvan ult, the Galio taunt, they'll just be way too tanky. Because is it like 18% at 4 or something? Like 24%?
4% each, I think. So
4, 8, 16%. Yeah. Extra armor and
MR on top of the shield.
MR.
But really, it's that extra 5 minutes they've bought for themselves before a potential soul is the main thing. Not
just
actually
allowing breathing space to scale up. But even if they want to play the scale game, they have to deal with a Kale in the late game.
They do have an Orianna who will always be pretty useful, and they do also have that Jax who will become pretty much just a side lane threat that's undealable with. Jax coming in the side. Keep an eye on
Depth charge
Jax.
coming out from Nautilus. Nautilus has been picked off here with the Impale. It's pick for pick as a
Shockwave.
massive shockwave comes out from the Orianna.
Beautiful
There's the Ash
arrow.
arrow comes in. This is just a great play from Young Prodigies here. As Ash
They've
comes
got
in
the
with
first.
the DPS, a great W there to just stop the Northless lane on that CC. As Jax goes down, the cleanse coming out from Ezreal as Ash is going a bit too deep there. And a flash coming out from Skarner. Is W keeping him alive? How have V5 turned that around to make it a 3-for-3? That was great play from both teams. They both played that, I believe, really well. But
Oh, he
Jarvan
wants
coming
more.
in, knowing his damage, he does want more. This may be a bit greedy, but Orianna has no mana, so Leona is just taunting him with the damage mitigation on W, stunning him. He could potentially 1v1 him here. But Jarvan W with being tanky. They both got some fire Aegis. It's a battle of the tanks. It's what League has come to.
It's the noodle fight. The ignite was put down on him. It's not quite enough. George TP'd in behind.
TP'd in.
Oh, this is...
Leona. Oh, this is sad.
This...
He had to ruin
That
the
was
fun.
not fair.
He had to ruin the fun. Leona's first death of the game comes from her getting a bit too cocky in the noodle fight.
In the noodle fight, getting cheesed by a Kale teleport. Does manage to get the flash out of Kale, which I would say is definitely worth it. If you can get onto this Kale, that's a 600 gold bounty that is now definitely within your reach.
100%. Especially that, I did not expect that DPS from Ashe that last fight. That was just, she was just allowed in the backline to constantly hit, and even through Kale ultimate, I think she'd be able to go through. But that Immortal Shield bow at the end, keeping her alive just that split second longer as well, was very crucial. Especially on that Ezreal. But I make there, clearly knowing his damage.
We do see just under a 4,000 gold lead has now been built up for the side of V5. Most of that lead is actually... Pretty much all of that lead is on the Kale. Kale currently sitting at just over 3,000 gold ahead. Jarvan also being about 2,000 ahead. Meanwhile, actually, the mid and bot lane for Young Prodigies are both ahead by small amounts. 700 in mid and about 100 in ADC. Not really any difference making there. But it'll be quite interesting to see how they manage to play through these. Jax definitely has to get strong enough to the point where he can be that side lane threat that can't be dealt with by a single person. Because he is currently just split pushing, does have the teleport, so can come and join if the team would like to try anything. Looks like Young Prodigies, though, are just happy to sit and pick up more farm until the Mountain Drake respawns.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that this is what they should be doing. Just looking to play for... they could even give up the Mountain Drake in order to get more. Oh, and there could be a pick on Jarvan as just a stun and a run away from Skarner.
This would be a 4v3. That's a lot of damage.
That's a very large amount of damage. There's a great ultimate comes out from Ashe. And a shockwave as well. The impale from Skarner. The ult from Nautilus, but cannot help Jarvan escape as...
And they turn straight towards this Baron.
The Baron.
They've taken out the jungler, so this should be a very safe Baron to take. There is still a big wombo combo, but as soon Kale has gone to the bottom lane, it looks like they want to try and get the Drake instead. But Young Prodigy should be able to just turn straight onto this Drake should they want it. It'll be interesting to see if they choose to back and give up the Drake here, or if they run straight towards it.
I believe they'll run straight towards it. Any team, with
knowing
their worth, would head straight towards the Drake. As they don't have the damage. Well, they do now. The Kale. Kale could shred straight through it before they even get there. As, oh no, Skarner with
Jax
the W move
being pinged.
Straight to... Oh, and the stun comes down on the Leona. On the Kale, sorry. As flashes away as Jax goes forward with the stun. The Kale ult very aggressive. The stun coming from the Leona, allowing that... Well, forcing the Kale to stay where she was, not pumping out any damage whatsoever. And just... It was a nice idea from V5. It was just a shame that Ashe and Orianna shred through Baron.
What a swing off that pick in the mid lane onto basically O'Neal, who was a little bit out of position. Then that Tenno stepped up, got chunked out by the Orianna, and both of them just ended up falling. And that swing of gold, you can see that Young Prodigies are now about 600 gold ahead when they were at a 3,900 gold deficit previously.
Absolutely, and the shutdowns there of Jarvan and
Kale.
the shutdown on Jarvan went to Leona, unfortunately, I believe. And I went to the Leona, sorry, which is really unfortunate. Obviously, it would be better on someone else, but still, the shutdown allowing the gold to swing, and it's pretty much at 800 gold lead now for Young Prodigies.
And you can see it's
But
actually it's even better for Young Prodigies than you would expect, just because the members you really want the gold to be in is where they have most of their gold leads right now. The Ashe is ahead of Ezreal, Orianna's ahead of Galio, Jax is behind of Kayle, but he's not as far behind as the others are on his team. Most of the lead for V5 right now is stacked in that Kayle and the Jarvan, and Jarvan is not the person you really want the lead to be on when he's building tank. He's now finished those two items that he really needs, and anything else right now is just kind of the cherry on top of the cake. It's nothing you need, it's just nice.
yeah, absolutely. But I
Oh, we might
don't
see a
really
pick.
know. Oh, this could be a very nice flank here. A great solo flank, a great anti-crystal arrow there from Ashe, but
Zenith Blade
nothing really
misses.
been able to come from it. But and a great shockwave, and Nautilus just can't move.
It's a lot of ultimates used for the Nautilus.
Yeah, and Galio there, you can see ping in the Nautilus flash was ready to flash away. Dot clearly not happy about the Nautilus getting picked off there, but when the Ashe arrow is coming down the lane and you're stunned for I don't even know how long,
I think
3.5 seconds.
You'll probably
Three
see
and a
it.
half seconds. It's not a fun experience. But Ezreal here just picking up the mid lane wave, really just trying to, I guess, farm up to a point where he can do something alongside the Kayle. But he has got that Divine Sunderer, so
Yeah, the main issue right now is he's getting picked out. I would like to just see the QSS from him. I mean, there's a Skarner on the other team. Yeah, you have Cleanse, but you can only use Cleanse on one thing. And really, you need that QSS for the Skarner.
Absolutely, you can see he has picked it up as well. It's the weird, gooey looking belt.
Yep.
Mercurial Scimitar, very, very good item as well because it can help with the magic resist as well against the Orianna. But
and most of that burst right now is coming out from the Orianna, sitting on 6 and 4, really putting out a lot of damage. The shockwaves have been pretty instrumental in keeping Young Prodigies in this game.
Absolutely, even some of the shockwaves that have only hit one or two people, they've still allowed for picks or allowed for setups for Leona to get a very nice solar flare, which has led then to a winning team fight for Young Prodigies.
Teleporting in on the Orianna, looking for some sort of flank here.
Yeah, absolutely. Another Enchanted Crystal Arrow. They're going to be an Impale from this. Oh, and a great shockwave. Oh, and another solar flare on the Galio. But Nautilus again, and
one
Leona
already down,
following him straight through. But Jarvan's come in on the backline as Kayle is also in on the backline. And Leona stuns up the Kayle, causing him to die.
Jax is still walking.
Jax is not wanting to. He doesn't have TP. But and Ezreal picks off the Orianna with a great Q there and a flash, but the EQ from Jarvan allows him to flash away and the counter strike won't hit. The Ezreal is still on the backline and he's been just completely mullered by Ashe arrows there. A flurry of Ashe arrows just allows them to pick the Jarvan now.
If they get the Jarvan, they can take the dragon. They know that.
Yeah, the Jax is gonna start it and Leona's gonna. I know Jax has decided to come with the Leona in order to hunt, but Jax is now turning on, and so is Leona, with Ashe pushing in that mid tier 2. Believe that the Ashe should come and wrap around and help with the Drake if they're still doing that. Yeah, and that's absolutely, I believe, what she's going to do, heading towards that red side. Oh no, she's going to counter jungle.
Take away some of this jungle, take away some of those resources.
Yeah, and just the tankiness of Young Prodigies now with 3 Mountain Drakes, and now they're on Soul Point. It's a great turnaround from Young Prodigies, especially after what was seemingly a very poor early game.
And we'll have the game state just slow down a little bit here. Young Prodigies sitting about 2,000 gold ahead, so the lead's not massively growing, but they are picking up those mountain drakes, up to the 3 mountain drakes now, so any small amount of armor or MR that they do pick up will be amplified by quite a bit, which is definitely good. Keep them alive through that burst. Kale, an exceptionally good champion at just bursting people out. Another enchanted crystal arrow.
They're really getting bloodthirsty now, young prodigies. They know that they can take these fights. They know that they have the stronger team composition right now, especially if they do get that engager. We've just seen what they can do, and even in a team fight where Kale does get a very nice flank alongside the Jarvan, who had an ult, I believe, onto the Orianna and the Ashe, where they both just were forced to flash away, or he got an ult on the Orianna, or I believe, and they just flashed out, and it was kind of made redundant. But even with that nice flank, the Leona,
Oh, they
very,
found
very
your boy.
nice. Oh, they have found him indeed. I believe he just knows he can walk away, but he gets a nice stun and a flash to Skarner to help him escape. An EQ coming out from Jarvan here, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, I'm very surprising that
Engage onto the backline, Galio.
This is a great engage coming out from V5 here, but Ashe is just allowed to do what she does best, which is just to auto-attack as Kale mops up the Skarner, and Galio, he gets a good taunt, but I believe the Ashe can win this here, especially with the Immortal Shield Bow, as Kale, Ezreal, and Nautilus are all coming up, but
look at that kiting.
This is great kiting, but the EQ
it's
coming
not
out...
enough. The tanks are just too big right now.
Gargoyle, Stoneplate really coming in clutch there, that active shield, and also that passive where I believe he gains more magic resistant armor, really coming in handy. And also Randuin's Omen to slow down the Ashe. But it was just great work from V5.
We do really need to see some armor pen picked up on Ashe here. You can see that most of the reason these fights are close is because Ashe gets stuck auto-attacking Jarvan and just can't get through him. He has stacked armor, absolutely stacked it. In fact, if we check, he's sitting on 269 armor. That's a lot of armor.
That is a lot of armor indeed. You can even see as well he has 200 magic resist, so his build has actually been as well quite balanced, even though Ashe does nothing. I don't really know what Ashe... Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I don't really know what the Ashe is building here for fourth item. She's got the Runan, she's got the Immortal Shield Bow, she's got the Ginsus, which I've seen a lot of Ashes pick up now because of the... I don't know why it's it must be an interaction with Q or something that I'm missing.
The Ginsus, I'm guessing it's something to do with her passive, because Ashe uses crit to do more damage on her auto attacks, doesn't actually crit. So maybe converting the crit chance, you get both things at once?
Yeah.
It's
she's gone for the Last Whisper.
Yeah, that makes sense. Picking up that armor pin.
Absolutely, yeah. Not much happening. V5 looking to just use that mid lane constant pressure with the super minions to try and get some free towers almost, as young prodigies are forced to send 1 or 2 members to clear the super minions. Jarvan, Ezreal, and Nautilus. A nice little split push squad.
Yep. Right now, it'll be interesting to see how the teams move around to try and get those last few levels onto their champions. You see most of the champions sitting at around 16, 17. Kale is currently the only champion on level 18 as of now.
Yeah, indeed.
Jax has been left to just clear out both mid and bot, but that does mean Kale has just got 3 hits onto this inhibitor tower, just takes it down.
Kale, she's just take the inhib. She's really strong right now, especially level 18. She's 2 levels past the level 16 final spike, where she's
V5 don't want minions, they're just going to take that tower. Oh,
yeah, they are. Oh, and Kale has been caught out here with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but the ultimate coming down and damaged both Skarner and Jax. This Impale coming out from Skarner, a nice pick on the Kale there, but that is just leaving tower and potentially another inhib. Oh no, V5 are leaving us. Leona gets a very nice engage. Galio will coming down, gets a nice double airborne, especially with the Jarvan and a flash. Galio, but the Jess gets the Ezreal. There's no damage anymore, but Jarvan is just sat in the backline. Jax kills the Nautilus, but the Galio does get the Skarner as Ash just rinses through Jarvan's armor now with that last Whisper. Leona gets the stun down. Orianna with a nice command forward, and Ash gets another kill on the Galio. All the kills going to the right people. The Jax to, I guess, attempt to bring him back into the game now to make him a scarier threat. The Ash getting a nice double kill. But really, it's just nice, good engages from Young Prodigies. Good spots, good picks on the Kayle. Kayle was just a bit too far out of her reach, especially even though the mid inhib was already down. I guess just attempting to push it in, and Skarner comes through, and they find a nice pick in a 4v5. They just immediately go for the fight.
We saw this team taking the fight to MM, and they didn't manage to get a game against them. And yet again, they're taking this fight, they're making the games go long, and they're showing that they may be sitting at 0 wins, but that doesn't mean by any stretch that they are the weakest team in the River League.
Oh yeah, not at all. I don't believe there's any form of weak teams in the River League, even though some may not be able to take a game. They're all strong in their own right. They all have their...
You think about a lot of these games, a little bit of difference in a different team would
wow,
win. That was a fast Scorpion.
That was a very, very fast Scorpion.
Good of George to just hang on to his ultimate there. Knows that he can't afford to use it.
Even though that he's a zoomy boy, you can just walk away with Nautilus there to help him.
Young Prodigy is really struggling to get out of their base. They did get the Earth Soul, Mountain Soul.
That could be an inhib. Yeah, that is the...
Oh, the Scorpion's going in. Looking for the Kayle, but can't get onto her.
A good depth charge there from the Nautilus as Jarvan gets on the backline, and Galio ults in as Leona then engages on the Kayle. The Kayle has gone down, and Ash again is just free to do whatever they want. A good shockwave, but a great ult from Jarvan there, almost isolating the Ash inside, but Jax is there with them. Leona and Skarner are just on the backline attempting to do whatever they can. Leona does go down whilst he's seeing the Ezreal. Skarner kills the Galio.
So fast!
Why is he so quick? His W when he gives him some very... Not like...
The Ezreal's still alive.
Movement speed, but the Ezreal and the Nautilus both go down. There was just too much damage. Jax does inevitably have to go back and clear the wave, but that was... I don't know where Skarner gets his movement speed from. His turbo chem tank was down. His dead man's plate wasn't up. He was just really fast. But Kayle is very surprising turn of events. So Kayle didn't use her ult in that fight, I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't think
either
so.
it was on cooldown or...
no, because they had it up
before with the Skarner.
Had it up when the Skarner was running, yeah. So did not actually use the ultimate that time, and
she may have just been perma-CC'd by the Leona, and she just couldn't use it.
You can really see the problem Young Prodigies are having here is that they're just not... Whenever they get these teamfight wins, they're not able to push out. Such a close game as well, 72k to 70.3. Less than 2,000 gold in it. Most champions coming towards their full builds now. You can see Ashe is on her full build, Kale's on full build, Jarvan has half an item left to build.
Interesting, V5 are looking for a Baron here.
It's already less than half health, but here comes the Scorpion.
Skarner, and that's a good...
And he stole it!
Scorpion just comes in and steals it. Nothing that they can do.
But Young Prodigies want the fight as well.
Alive, and they go in on the Nautilus. There's a great ult there. Jarvan has ulted the Ashe, but there's a great shockwave, counter shockwave. Galio goes in. Ashe is just put.
Oh no, Ashe is down.
This is surely going to be a great fight for V5 as Kayle is now 1v1 in the Leona, but you know, League of Tanks. But Leona goes down, and Jax kills the Ezreal, but. Now Galio with the Sunfire Aegis ease in and takes the kill. There's a TP coming out from the Galio to the bot lane. They are looking to end this here.
Orianna has no health. She got cut off by that TP, had to back.
Yeah, and with no shockwave, just this.
It's just left up to the Orianna to try and clear these waves out, but the Kayle will just shred through this tower. There's not much she can do.
Yeah.
She's doing what she can, gets the Nautilus.
Gets the Nautilus. Galio is forced to run away in fear, but Kayle is just
ending the game.
In Nexus. Galio and Orianna gets another kill, a consolation kill, and V5 take the first game.
And V5 take game one. What a close game, though.
Absolutely.
Even at the end, just over 1,000 gold in it. You do have to feel a little bit sorry for young prodigies. They've put up fights 3 games in a row, had 3 fairly close games, not managed to find a win as of yet. But what a close game. You could definitely see any upsets coming out during um, this league. And I
Yeah.
probably should have moved to pre-stream before closing that down. But
Oh,
yeah, in terms of MVPs from that roller coaster of a game, who do you think you would give your MVPs to from either team?
honestly, the MVP, I'd have to give it to Jarvan, really. Um, his very well, from the start of the game to the end of the game, he was very impactful. He just finally engaged on the backline to set up for the Galio onto the Ashe, who was inevitably the big problem that they had to deal with. And every time that he ulted, well, sometimes it was very questionable, but other times it was a massive fight changer, really, for Valkyrie 5. So yeah, my MVP vote goes to O'Neal on that Jarvan.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I don't think there's really much else to put. The ganks as well were working out really well. Um, he managed to get that early, somewhat cheesy kill, but you know what? Um, Sometimes you need somewhat early cheesy kills. And yeah, it was just a good game from him. Was zoning out the backline when he needed to, um, getting the ultimates on those key targets. And from the other side, from Young Prodigies, is there a particular person you want to shout out as having played really well that game?
For me, it's really tied between Leona and Ashe. I would give it to both of them if I could. Leona, superb engages, superb follow up on, and like when we saw under tier 2 tower in the mid game, Ashe would fire out an enchanted crystal arrow, perfect follow up with the solar flare, and even on some of the shockwaves from Orianna. But the Ashe in the backline, the kiting that we saw, and just the positioning that she was able to get out of some situations where you'd question some
Yes.
players as to whether they can get out. Just she knew where to position. She was constantly firing flurry of arrows, and she made Ezreal almost seem like he wasn't doing anything in those fights at some points, which is quite amazing to me to witness an AD carry make such an impact, especially in a season where it's meant to be dominated by tanks. But if I
Yeah,
was to give it to one, Ashe, Ashe
I
would get it.
agree with you. I think the kiting was just really, really nice to watch. And those enchanted crystal arrows being constantly thrown out, hitting onto the priority targets, somehow even like sometimes weaving behind those people, front tanks, and actually managing to hit the Ezreal. We It was just really, really well played from iMake. And
Yeah.
but V5 did pick up that first game. That means they are currently 1-1. Young Prodigies sitting on North and 3 going into this second game. Let's see if they can pick up their first win.
First 2-0.
Game, please. Oh, there we go. For a second, I thought it wasn't going to load. I do have the teams on the right sides. Perfect. I do have the bans for this game as well. Here we go.
Oh,
So we can see
they're
that
not super scuffed bands.
not oh yeah, not scuffed in any way at all. We can see that after that game, the side of V5 banned out the Kale and the Galio, not wanting to see either of them go over to the side of Young Prodigies, and they also banned away the Fizz. Whereas on the side of Young Prodigies, they did. Wait, is this the way it works? I'm not sure
I
because I got sent
I'm
these.
sure because
It
I
occurs
was
to
gonna
me
say
it makes sense the
I
other
think
way
it's the other
round.
way because the Orianna and the Leona after their performance in game one on the Orianna and Leona.
Yeah, I was sent these by V5, and I was thinking blue for blue side, red for red side, but I think it just puts whoever sends it on blue side.
Yeah,
Because it makes
it
far more
must do.
sense for the Oriana or Leona band to come out from V5 and for the Kale,
But it's great to
Galio,
see.
Nautilus bands.
Great.
Anyway, here's the
Yeah.
bans if anyone was interested in them. We can see the Oriana, the Kale, the Galio, the Leona, and the Nautilus. None of them came back again.
Yeah.
Young Prodigies this time, they have Japoi on Ornn in the top lane. They have Set in the jungle. Young Skeng this time going in the jungle. I think he was playing mid last time.
Yes,
Um,
he was.
we've got Echo in the mid lane. I'm just gonna not say that name. We have iMake
The
has got his classic Kai'Sa.
oh
Yeah, I'll say TC for the mid lane for now.
TC, yeah.
TC, that
TC
seems
TC got his
t
hands on the
terms
Echo.
of service. Um, and then Hey Support got Fresh. Yeah, Hey Sup got Fresh. That seems like a good thing to call him. Whereas on the other side for V5, we have George on his Vlad, something that he plays a lot. O'Neill has Hecarim, Dot has the Silas. I believe that's his third most played champion. Tenno is playing the Vayne, and Buffalo Goose has the Lulu, something he's definitely played quite a lot of.
Yeah, absolutely. Personally, for team console, I was just looking there. TC, quite experienced on Echo, does have a couple of games with him under his belt. I've not seen him before, so it'll be very interesting to see how he plays, and especially that move to put Skeng in the jungle. I believe that Brands would have had to have on for Skeng to be moved to the jungle role, but
Yep.
it's very interesting team comp. You can tell that V5 have definitely gone for the late game here, and Young Prodigies picking up the
Well,
Ornn for some late game insurance.
yeah, they have that on for the late
Really,
game insurance. They've got the power that an Echo can provide on the side lane. Of course, that's going to struggle when you're trying to match up to a Vlad or a Silas. And they do have that Kai'Sa, who will always be a threat. Um, the thing that I do notice is there's not too many amazing ultimates for the Silas to steal. That's my first thought is he can take the Call of the Forge God.
yeah,
The
he can
dunk back
take.
could be an engage for him, but it's not the best thing. Echo ult is a disengage for him, but again, you that's not really the ultimate you kind of want to be using. Kai'Sa ult is just basically a big shield.
Yeah, and
Thresholds, it will do a lot of
good for
damage, but
it's good for zone control. Thresh ultimate as well can potentially sway and engage from the thresh or the set, or even a follow up. So if Silas was to engage, he could steal the threshold, and if anyone is further back than they should be, they may be they could just run at it and then take the 99% slow. But with the AP scaling, I believe it scales off AP. Yeah, they may take a massive chunk of damage. But realistically, like you say, I believe there's only it's very situational to take the Thresh ultimate away. But the core of
yes,
the Forge God is definitely, I
that's the
believe,
ultimate
what they
to
were
watch
looking
out
for.
for. In terms of summoners and everything, I don't see anything that's too strange, to be honest with you. Maybe the fact you've got Conqueror on Silas, sometimes you'll see an electrocute, but Conqueror is more common, so not really surprising. We do have Guardian on the Lulu rather than the Aerie, so a bit more of a defensive, try and keep yourself and your teammates alive.
Guess
Apart from
Conqueror on the
that,
Hecarim as well is a bit. It's
uh,
normal.
I
Our
think it's
resident
normal.
Hecarim player. Um, but normally, sometimes you do see the Predator. I believe that's
Oh,
very situational. But other
yeah,
times you do see Phase Rush as well. So,
yeah. Predator's the
just
I
the
want to
extra move
have
speed.
fun rune, not the I want to win rune.
I was very surprised when I didn't see the Skarner take the Predator as well. That's
Oh,
what I was.
yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that.
All
That would have
right.
been
Any final words about these two teams before we go into this game?
well, after game one. We'll be looking at a very exciting game.
Oh,
I
I
believe.
hope so. Right,
I,
okay.
okay,
Let's have the
one
countdown
sec.
then. Three, two, one, play.
Go.
Okay, and as we start to load into the game, we can see that according to chat, Vlad has purchased two Dark Seals. I'm not sure how he's managed to
No,
do that.
that's
Only one of them has gone into his inventory.
he's cheating.
Cheating!
He's cheating.
He's got
Um,
two!
Vayne with the interesting buy of nothing there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing really surprising being picked up. We do see
Yeah.
I suppose the support item, minion killing support item on Lulu's a bit strange. Potential invade actually coming out from
Oh,
Young Prodigies here.
they are 100%
Oh, they
looking for
find
something here.
Buffalo Goose.
Oh, they do find him. Yeah, this could be very
Just going
bad
for the
for the
autos.
Lulu. He's looking for the flash. Oh, and Thresh almost predicting the flash where they were going to go, but Lulu
Did manage to get
instead.
out of that one.
Yeah, absolutely, just burning the flash for nothing really. Good though for Young Prodigy's bot lane. The lack of flash on Lulu means an easier engage,
Oh,
especially for the Thresh. But it just depends if they time it correctly.
looked like V5 might have tried to go for a sneaky steal there, but as soon as they see Japoy and TC on the way, they back off from that one. Both teams
Immediately,
deciding to start on the red side of their jungles. Um, yeah, well, I mean, both of these champions benefit a lot more from the red buff than they do for the blue buff, but it does mean we might see a potential split of where focus is going. Young Skeng probably going to look more towards the mid lane, might try and get the top lane a little bit ahead, but I wouldn't expect too much focus there. Whereas we'd expect O'Neal to be ganking that bottom lane and the mid. Honestly, I think we expect to see quite a lot through mid. Mid is definitely a lane you can snowball.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I believe O'Neal will probably be looking to set up a tent in the bot lane. Really, just attempting to make sure his Vayne and Lulu can scale very nicely in CSR, right, especially about the threat of a set gank. But Silas getting a level 2, missing the E engage, so Echo does sort of get a free trade. They're very nice
I
trade for him there. But
have a feeling you might be a few seconds behind, so I'm at
oh,
222 now.
I'm at 220, well 224, so I think I'm a second behind.
Yeah. Oh, flash forced out from Tenno.
Wow, Set just showing up his face, and Vayne didn't want to get anywhere near that, so flashes away. Again, just like with
But
the Lulu flash, just depends if they can capitalize effectively.
really successful gank. That does mean they have to be much more careful of the Thresh, of where he's standing and where he might be trying to gank.
Yeah, that bush threat now.
Camera
Just Thresh
loves that
standing.
bush, doesn't want to see what's happening
Oh,
here. Young
doesn't
Skeng
really, but
actually caught
Hecarim's
out.
going behind the Set,
He's only level
and
2.
he has to flash away. Echo looking to come up and believe that they could have taken it, and Thresh almost going down, forced out the flash from having the heal. But both heals go down in the process, leaving a worse trade for Young Prodigies than I imagined. But Set on the bot side, picking up the scuttle. Hecarim just going for an invade. Very standard Hecarim counter jungling stuff. The surprise for me though is the Dark Seal on the Vlad. Against the Norn, I don't know if you're looking to kill him or if you're just looking to scale up, but
I think
I
it's
don't know if
potentially
Dark's...
for the extra healing that it'll give you off the pots. It'll just keep your life better through that early game and it allows you to build that refill pot first, which refill pot is amazing.
Yes, refill
Oh,
pots.
hook
One
does
of the
go
most
onto
broken.
Lulu.
That is a great hook there. I was forced to E, but the damage from Kaiser is just incredible.
Yeah, but Buffalo
Uh,
Goose was good to hold on to the exhaust there. Maybe he just didn't expect to be burst that much, but definitely good that he kept it.
yeah, absolutely. That is a crucial summoner spell, and proper usage of it on an engage or a disengage or a counter engage, whatever you may be the situation. But on here looking for an engage on a Vladimir, a very nice trade, but getting minion blocked, forced him to take a lot more damage than he probably would have, and Vlad turning around that trade. And Echo sets up a stun for the Hecarim, but Hecarim just gets a nice E and runs away. As the hit and run tactics begin.
George is actually quite far up here. He's
Yes.
In retrospect, he is safe because Youngsgang is on the bottom of the map, but this is not really where you want to be. Oh,
Actually, definitely, he's taking a lot of minion aggro here.
uh,
I am going to assume a lag spike happened there.
I think so too. Oh, a hook onto the Lulu
Oh,
into
a
the
great
tower.
hook from Fresh. And an E that can demo away from Vayne, and the Guardian has got it. Yeah, there it is. And a flash forward from Kaiser gets the kill. Vayne now has to play this really well, but I think she's got to go down as well. Yeah, Kaiser. I make there showing why people ban his Kaiser. You don't let him get his hands on it.
But
It's
honestly, really nice hook there from Haesop to just pull the Lulu into the tower. Or engage in the mid lane.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, Silas getting stunned there, but the ignite taking down a flash forward, but the flash away from Echo there.
All
Echo's gonna have
sums
to back
used and no one dies.
quite happens a lot to Silas because of his Q, but if he had electrocute, I believe that would have been a different story. But then he wouldn't have the Conqueror healing, so
For later on as well,
yeah,
especially.
it's all.
Young Skeng there helping TC push that in. Oh, O'Neal is
Oh
here.
yeah,
But there's 6 on Echo.
The Echo baiting in O'Neal with the ultimate. He's
Does
and he
manage to
gets
just
away
get out.
because of his E. That was O'Neal is a Hecarim master, clearly knowing the limits of his champion.
Just wanting
with
to
that.
get that Echo ultimate out.
That is an incredible ult to force Echo to waste.
He did have to
Really?
use his ghost. It will be up fairly quickly, so it's not the biggest
That
biggest
cooldown
commit. It's a longer cooldown than the
is
Echo
1 minute and
ultimate.
50. 1 minute and 50 seconds on Echo ultimate.
CS across the teams and overall gold is actually fairly even right now. Only about a 200 gold difference. If we look at where gold is situated, Vlad is
Top
up by about
yeah.
700, but the bot lane for Young Prodigies is up by also about 700. So you can see mid lane as well, slight lead for the Silas there.
That double kill really helping to close the gold gap. Really, not really much happening. Just both teams farming up. Didn't really expect much in the early game to happen with these teams, but Set looking to counter jungle the Hecarim in the red side, but
Taking away those buffs is really good.
absolutely. Oh, Silas, surprise engage, steals the Echo ultimate. He could look for a tower dive here, but doesn't. Just hangs on to the ultimate. Doesn't want to blow it too soon. As soon as he's stolen it. But just trades going left and right. And Vlad just bullying this poor Ornn under tower.
CT's is very low. They want to go in on the
Set
dot
coming
here.
in for the Silas.
O'Neal is behind.
O'Neal is just playing almost as if he knows where young Skeng is all the time, even though they have no vision. He's just perfect tracking is going on almost, because every time Set has attempted to enter the mid lane, Hecarim's always shown up about 3 or 4 seconds afterwards, and a hook landing on a minion there, minion delivery service, and Vayne going on the Kaiser there.
Putting out a bit of damage.
Yeah, the W damage not doing as much as I expected.
We're actually seeing some vertical jungling come out as Young Prodigies take the bottom side of the map and V5 take the top side. Overall, this is probably a little bit better for the side.
A great hook from Fresh there, finding that Lulu. Lulu is dead.
Exhausting the
and
heals
an
down.
exhaust comes out, and another heal there, and it's just.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, both of them get down to no health again. All summoners used. No one's dead.
Echo on 1 HP. Again, surviving.
Dodd surviving on barely any more.
They're looking for a dive here in the bot lane. Set has the ult, just ults straight in.
Oh,
and
beautiful
a great
prediction.
Hook from Fresh. That was absolutely amazing there from Haesop. And the kill going over to iMake there. Really, really well played from Young Prodigies here.
And this is one scary Kaiser, and they should be able to pick up this dragon as the as their present. That's not what I mean to say. I don't know, whatever. Yep, they do get a mountain.
It's for free.
They get the free dragon.
It's a present. And their Rift Herald being used top lane here.
They do use it quite early, which means they won't be able to kill the tower. Of course, the more plates you take, the tankier the tower becomes. It means that last bit, you can see they're doing practically no damage. If they'd instead waited to put it down, they could have just bursted through the last about half of the tower's health and taken that first tower really quickly. It could also be they just don't want to take the first tower yet. Maybe they don't want to have Vlad have to push up quite as far.
Yeah, as you can see, the Vladimir just really abusing the fact that he has a free lane with that near 10 CS a minute, and Silas missing the E engage on the Echo. Dot is playing very aggressively on this Silas, giving this Echo no breathing room whatsoever.
Young Skeng is just chasing O'Neal out of his own jungle.
Yeah, O'Neal just doesn't want to engage, especially at such a lower, and a smite coming out of the big raptor there, just denying the XP. The Hecarim attempted just to get him further behind.
See, the CS leads right now are really what is keeping V5 in this game. They're actually ahead by 400 golds just because of that those CS leads on the top side of the map.
Absolutely. All the gold will just be funneled into the Vladimir, so if Young Prodigies, especially later in the game, can get a pick on that Vladimir, that's quite a lot of the gold.
Of course, it is a Vlad. Very hard champion to pick off.
Absolutely.
Just pull is used. Call of the Forge
just
God.
Pulls everything, and a Call of the Forge.
Both ultimates thrown down from V5.
Great flee from O'Neal here as Ornn is going to go down. Slightly given over. Oh no, and did O'Neal didn't smite that, but gotta assume that the Phage Q, the Q1 took the kill there. Probably should have given it over to Vlad, but
Hecarim's also just a very good champion to have kills on.
Especially with the Conqueror. Looking towards a solo Q and a good condemn into the wall there by Vayne. Thresh just walking at them, attempting to provoke a early flash.
Bullying here. This is pretty much what they should be doing. A nice hook onto the Lulu.
Good hook from Thresh. As Lulu goes down to half HP, Vayne pops the ultimate and is currently just absolutely destroying this Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa is going to go down. The Lulu and the exhaust coming out from
Skeng
Lulu.
Is on the way.
And Seth does come in, and great Q from Lulu there just to slow them down on the attempt at the engage. But Kraken Slayer coming out on the Kai'Sa.
TC is also here.
Oh, and V5 here looking for a collapse, a 4-man collapse against 3, but instead they opt out. Silas is going to go home, and so is everyone else. As Young Prodigies, Skeng gets the scuttle.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a bit more ganking out of Skeng in this early game, just to try and really force the fact he has this set champion which is really good at ganking early because of the speed buff he has and the CC he provides. Looks like he will actually go in on this bot lane.
So yeah, he's looking for an engage here, but the Kai'Sa is far away.
Far away with no ultimate left up. We'll just walk out.
Yeah. Silas engages here on the Echo. The Echo dodging the E very well. The Q coming down and balanced damage coming out from Silas here as the Hecarim comes in and Echo is just running under his tower. Great hook from Fresh there to catch out the Lulu and the burst damage from Kai'Sa is just incredible. That Hail of Blades and the Plasma passive, especially when Thresh is seemingly on point today with his hooks, and Ornn is just going to die. Very sad
That's
death.
a lot of
and O'Neal uses the ult to flee the oncoming Skeng, and Skeng still has his W up as Echo comes in for the stun, but doesn't be able to stun anyone. The smite coming out from stairs. Hecarim uses the smite on the buff to try and stay alive. And Silas takes out stairs. Echo uses the ult. Silas steals the Echo ult. The Echo ult does take out Hecarim, and the flash away from Echo. And the flash from Vladimir follows. Echo is gonna go down. 3 for 1 for V5, which is
really good for them. Yeah, that's a lot of gold funneled mostly into the pockets of the Vlad.
A flash forward from Tenno. This is very aggressive.
What a hook!
As Thresh hits the hook, and the Lulu ult forced to come out. The Kraken Slayer's just got to follow the ult back in from Kai'Sa to counter the condemn as Lulu W's away. But I don't believe that she's going to get out. The Thresh has got the boots and hits the hook, and a great hook, and Kai'Sa just gets another kill. It's not looking pretty for the V5 bot lane so far.
Yeah, this has not been their game. Yeah, they've just got to try and play it a little bit safer, get a couple of items on your Vayne to the point where she actually can start winning these 1v1s. They did think they were on the 2v1 right there, but of course Thresh waiting in the bush.
Yeah, and that flash
Ooh.
committed aggressively there as
O'Neal
well.
trying
Didn't
to
really
go for
help.
that.
As a hook,
They do manage to save Young's getting there. He does have to flash over the wall, though. That'll
yeah,
be no
absolutely, yeah.
flash on set. Arguable whether that's
Silas,
worth.
yeah, as the flash showstopper engage is not available. Call the Forge God used defensively, attempted to stop the Silas on the engage. Hits the airborne, so he's forced to tank a bit more in minion aggro than he probably would have liked. Stealing the Ornn ultimate, this could be a very, very good dive. They have
There
Vlad
is
ult and they
no
have an
ult
Ornn
on
ult.
Echo yet.
There we go, there's the ult from the Silas on the engage. Forcing the stun out first and he uses the Q, but Vlad is just going to walk away.
There's no
not
ult.
even have to use the pool. And the showstopper
flash.
going off and setting the stun. The pool and Judge kills Set. And the Echo goes down to the to O'Neal's smite and Ornn runs away in fear. Oh lord.
2 for 0, not what you want.
Young Prodigies, they thought they had the engage there. Silas used
But
the Ornn ult.
this is the weak members of Young Prodigies right now, getting very close to killing the Fed members of V5. Kai'Sa's nowhere to be seen in that fight. Her and Thresh were not around, and this is the person you really need to be watching out for. If V5 do not manage to kill that Kai'Sa, she'll be able to absolutely melt through them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not, especially, it's a case of that Kai'Sa's sort of stuck in the bot side of the map because there's not much really up in terms of the Drake. Maybe you're looking for Echo to go to the side lane here and put Kai'Sa Thresh in the middle so Thresh can roam about a bit more, be a bit more proactive on the map. And Echo can sit in that side lane and be a bit of a side lane pressure, a bit of a side lane nuisance, I should say, with Silas being forced to follow him around. But the Herald actually went. My director camera
I'm not
didn't
sure
see.
Dot wanted
I know
to take
Silas
that.
engage. I think he was just throwing it out, but Echo probably
Stepped
walked
into
it
that
as he
one,
was doing it.
pulled
Yeah.
him into the tower. Nice engage, they're both put low. The whole of Young Prodigies coming for this mid lane tower.
Thresh
Opening
using
that tower.
hook as a minion delivery service.
If they do get this tower, it will open the map up quite a bit. There's no one really here to stop them, just Dot and O'Neal right now. There's not much they can do. Oh, I make Ghost in.
And Kai'Sa. The isolated Q damage is just too good.
That's another kill picked up.
That.
Oh, and they pull
a
O'Neal
great
in.
hook from Fresh.
Wild
Lulu
Growth.
forced to use the ult and the set Facebreaker actually forcing Hecarim to take
That's a
down.
4-man ult from Vlad.
That is a great Vlad ult as he regens all his HP, and all the members of Young Prodigies are on half HP. Kai'Sa is forced to retreat, so Young Prodigies can't actually approach this Vlad. If they do,
They will step out, having got that 1 kill and some chip damage on that mid tower.
Echo forced to dash away defensively from that Vladimir.
From the Vladimir.
AoE. But Vladimir is just such a presence on the map. He's got a Medjai's now with 10 stacks. I guess I was wrong to doubt the Dark Seal pickup.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's very close to Rabadon's, I would assume. He only needs to get 1100 gold, and he's just flanked behind this Ornn. As Silas engages on the Echo, and Silas wants to get out now, but yeah, the Ornn is just... He's attempting to TP away, but I don't believe he'll get out. Will he?
He almost made it.
I think Vladimir there was just
had to teleport
toying
quite a bit beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he started teleporting a second earlier, I think he would have made it.
Also, he steals the Echo ultimate as he goes in. This is surely death for Echo. Yeah, absolutely. Silas is just with Leandri's as well to attempt to stop a bit of that regen, or as soon as he regens health, he's still taking damage. Very good, but Thresh was.
And we can see this is building that gold lead for the side of V5, up to about 3,500 right now. So that's quite a bit of gold ahead, and it is distributed a little bit more around the members than the gold on Young Prodigy's side is.
Yeah, absolutely. And
nice
Set forcing the showstopper defensively there as the E comes out from Hecarim.
No
Vayne
W
goes in, but and Thresh is going to go down as well. that was a very nice pick by V5 on Young Prodigies there.
Yeah, there was no actual W coming out from the set there.
Very
Maybe he
probably
wasn't
misplayed
expecting
the
the
shield.
the
The
Vayne
Vayne.
third hit damage. I think it was the third hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Only Vayne W's can deal that much damage. But Vlad using the ult. Does he get the kill with that dash forward?
No,
No, he
that's
doesn't.
a lot of
Takes him
damage
down
put
to
down.
a fifth of his HP bar is just gone in one combo.
That is the
It's
maximum bounty sitting on Vlad right now. Killing Vlad will net you 1,000 gold in total. So definitely, definitely a big swing if you manage to get him. Of course, we have talked
yeah,
about how hard it is to kill a Vlad.
absolutely with that ult, the healing, the
The
just everything
pull,
about Vladimir's kit.
the pull. He's got the
It's,
proto belts for the extra dash. He's
yeah,
got the teleport to try and get out if there's no CC left.
he is just so mobile that I don't believe that Young Prodigies will be able to lock him down
Of course, Young
fast
Prodigy's
enough.
starting to fall behind, but Ornn is almost at level 13. He will start building those Ornn items over people's mythics and bringing back some of that gold lead. Ornn, one of those annoying champions, which always means gold leads are not exactly what they look like.
So yeah, the gold efficiency of items goes from it truly is something else as soon as you have an Ornn on your team.
Yeah,
Especially
before preseason, it was Ornn items were worth around 1,000 extra gold. I don't know what it is now after preseason, but I think that's a fair assessment. So we can guess each level that Ornn gets from this point forwards, or the next 5 levels he get, will each net his team about 1,000 more gold.
Yeah. Which could potentially help as well, considering that the gold lead is only around 5,000. It can help close the gap considerably. But yeah, here we just see the sad state of and V5 carrying on bullying this poor Ornn.
They must have
looking for
something against the Ornn. Young
They do not
Skank's
like
gonna walk
Ornns.
into their faces. Stunned
Yeah,
up.
and he's most likely going to go down here unless he has flash here. But Echo coming in, maybe potentially a
But
2
Young
on something.
Prodigies
Gets a
want
stun
this.
on the Vladimir. The Ornn with a
Kaiser's
call,
in.
the Forge God. That is a quality hook as well.
Oh,
Kaiser coming
Vlad's
in.
caught out.
Oh, and Echo forced to ult. Kaiser and a flash forward from Echo. That's
Vlad
a
is
very
really out of
flash.
position here.
That's a great.
Who are they going to give it to?
It's got to be the Kaiser.
Echo.
They give it to the Echo.
No, that's good, that's good. You've now split your gold advantage between the 2 big damage dealers on your team. They always had the problem beforehand. If Kaiser was taken out, that's pretty much all of their damage gone. If you can get a lot of gold into this Echo as well, that's 2 big damage dealers you have.
Absolutely, yeah. I just would assume that they would want to
keep funneling the Kaiser. At some point,
Yeah,
you gotta stop funneling the Kaiser.
just play keep the Kaiser protected.
Oh, I can actually see about how many extra stats the Ornn item gets you. So there we go, there's one. So it gets you about 100 health, 15 of both armor and magic resist, and 5 ability haste. So
Does it change anything about the mythic passive? No, it doesn't.
no. So that's worth quite a lot. What, 100 health, ruby crystals, 150 health, 400. So it's probably about 300. Cloth armor's 300. So each of those is about about 1,000. If you 5 ability haste is worth 100, that brings it up to 1,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Riot Games actually doing a good transition for once, keeping that gold increase at around 1,000.
Oh, they found Vlad.
Smite coming out from set, attempted to stop the Vlad from escaping, but that pool movement speed and the blast clone just allowing him to escape. He's
George
way
showing
too slippery.
Why you should take phase rush on Vlad. Hit a couple of things, press your W, and zoom out of this world. Young Skank's a little cut out.
On this. Yeah. Oh, and a great hook from Fresh here, but nothing to follow up with because the entirety of V5 is there. But these Thresh hooks have really been on point.
Yep, Ocean Drake is spawning in 50 seconds, so we'll have to see how the fight for that comes out. TC did choose to finish off his Lich Bane, so that is a 2-item Echo now. That's the point where he really starts to spike.
Yeah, Silas is also looking to do the same. He's looking to base and pick up, I believe that built into, he's built into a Void Staff. which is very early magic penetration. But
All of Young
very,
Prodigies do back. It was a little bit of a late back, so they won't have the priority over this dragon, but they should be there in time to contest it if they really want to.
yeah, absolutely. I don't believe they'll look for they may look for a contest.
They might just look for the cheeky steal with Young Skeng.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
Especially
do
with how
have vision of it.
they are posturing to
Call of
have
Forge God
a.
is used. They want the knock up.
Yeah,
They stole it.
they did steal it. They're set flashing in.
And he's
Oh no,
out.
they didn't even flash
But
in.
TC wanted to
They
go in,
planted
and
out,
he's
but
immediately blown up.
he did ping that he had his already. He was just CC'd for so long that he couldn't, or he was blown up that quick. His
Just pulling a Jensen. Was it Jensen, the
Yeah.
one who died? Like Alton's on yours up.
maybe a Sven.
O'Neill is in the
You
back
know.
line.
But yeah, he is just rinsing through this Kaiser as if she doesn't exist. But Thresh peeling, all right, but peeling hard enough to get the kill. As V5 look to push in
They
the
look
mid tier
push
2.
in the mid, try and do a bit of damage, but they're countered there just by the set and the Thresh being there. George trying to put down a bit of damage, but nothing's really going to come out of that. That is 3 Drakes now for the side of Young Prodigies. It would be an Ocean Soul, which is absolutely massive. They have a big tank, and the Ornn set is also building tanks. That'll be 2 people that will be ridiculously hard to kill. Thresh.
Can I get a stat check on Kraken Slayer pre-upgrade? Because I think it goes from 55 to 85 attack damage.
Kraken Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be a lot.
Oh, a great flash forward from Thresh.
They
Hits the
find
hook.
the Vlad.
That is a great stun as well from the Echo, picking off both the Vlad and the Lulu. That was an absolutely amazing pick from the Thresh there.
And Tenno's down as well. That test
Tenno
damage.
Stepping forward just a bit too much, as I feared, but I never said. If they step up just one step too far, they get picked off, and the Vladimir believing that he could escape.
And
Flash
Young
forward from
Prodigies
the Thresh.
moves into the Baron. Just going to try and pick this one up.
Yeah, absolutely, just completely free. Nothing really to contest it with. They have a Silas and a Hecarim, but
yeah, O'Neill's not going to give his life just to try and steal that Baron. He needs to be alive, ready for this next Drake. Well, he'd be alive for the next Drake, but you do have to wonder how V5 plan to come back into this. It looks like they are just planning to try and scale up and fight over these Drakes.
yeah, absolutely. It's very hard for them, as they are now forced to fight the next Drake, and depending on who gets it, it could be a rough time very quickly. But they still do have the gold lead. It is a very minute gold lead, and Kaiser has been caught out here. The more and more is he's trying to lifesteal, but using the ult, but Vlad just rinses through the shield and flashes forward to hit the AoE, and Vayne gets the kill donated.
That is just what V5 need, but there's no real objectives up for them to take right now. Best they can do is push in a lane or two. They do have 30 seconds to do it, and the wave clear is not that amazing from an Echo from an Ornn. They could just choose to use some big abilities to keep this down. Haysport's going to find the Lulu, but
though they will most likely look for the mid tier 2. All 4 of them are there, and but they have to clear the Baron buffed cannon minion. But a wave is crashing in now, so that will be the mid tier 2 going down. And Vladimir looking for Echo,
doing a lot of damage, but
he's only just respawned and he's lost half his HP. It's not fun if Fed Vladimir, but
so the Proto Belt upgrade is actually called Aero Pack.
It's called upgraded Aero Pack as well.
What's the other one? Aero Pack? No, it's Rocket Belt. So 82, 50, 15. Reference that goes, so 30 ability power, 100 health, and 5 ability haste. That is now 3 items also upgraded on the side of Young Prodigy, so about 3,000 bonus gold, which would put both the teams exactly equal.
But a great hook there from Thresh,
They find
forcing
the
the Lulu to
Lulu,
ult
but
defensively, but the Kai'Sa's not there, and the Kai'Sa is there now. The Vayne
1 for
gets
1.
the kill, and Call of the
Jungle
Forge
for
Guard picking up
support.
the strike on Lulu.
Silas isn't here, and
and
they
a
catch
great
O'Neal.
hook. And O'Neal forced to use the ult
Dodged on the backside.
defensively. Just so many ults forced to use defensively. Sun coming out, but dodged with the pool and the rocket belt. Forced to use defensively as Vladimir
Oh, they
goes
found
back in to
Imake.
get the kill. And they found Imake. He just strays a bit too forward. He gets the kill. The Locket coming out from the Fresh to try and keep himself alive a bit longer. On getting the double kill. Silas looking to kill the Echo. And he's a complete mess, but Vladimir, I believe, was
Goes
on the
forwards,
side.
he misses.
And a Thresh hook there. They fly
Oh
away.
my god,
and
the tap!
That was a tap and a half. Silas just didn't get to use his W.
And it's just
But-
Vlad left now. Looks like we got another Forge item coming out.
Yeah,
Locket's
Locket of the
upgraded.
Eyes to Reliquary of the Golden Dawn. And I believe...
Reliquary.
Oh, that is not fair.
Ooh, Vlad
Vladimir
now
is just...
will be
doing
able to
Vlad
just
things.
run them down. Young Skank is on the way. The Buffalo Goose
Lulu
is
has just
also
completely
here.
missed the Thresh. But the Lulu with the Vlad could do some real damage.
It looks like they're
Yeah.
gonna just go for this dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. It should realistically... Young Prodigies could steal it.
Yeah, they do have view of it, and it would be the Ocean Soul.
Yeah, absolutely. They would want to contest this
It
heavily,
looks like
but
they want to, but
V5 are dragging it out. They do use that. They
Oh, he
attempt to
doesn't
steal
get
the
it.
W, but he doesn't get it.
tries to
And,
flip him
ult
over the
from-
wall.
He tries to get him closer to his team to try and get him down. The Call of the Forge Guard picking up the Hecarim and the Vayne, but nothing really leading to it. Both teams walk away, and V5 pick up the Drake. It's a very close game.
Very
Oh,
important
and
for V5. George
V5.
has DC'd and reconnected.
A lot of lag spikes, really, for players. And
Something must have been going on with the servers. Well, we had a lot of
Yeah.
teams playing at once. So
they couldn't
maybe it was
handle all
us.
the quality League of Legends.
Quality League of Legends content.
Riot Games don't like quality League of Legends.
Here we
They
see a
like
bit of
bad
A-ramming going on in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Of course, it wouldn't be an
Absolutely.
A-ram if it wasn't mid.
Yeah, of course. Nayram, as it likes to be called. But
Yep. O'Neal has found TC in the top lane, but I'm not sure that's a fight that the Hecarim wins.
no,
He's
he
being
doesn't. Not with
knocked down.
Electrocute Echo. But he is actually lifestealing quite heavily. I don't know Hecarim's kit, so I don't know where he's getting all of that lifesteal from. but-
W gives a lot of lifesteal, and the Conqueror as well. Both will give a lot of lifesteal.
Very,
I think Sunderer as well actually gives you healing.
very balanced champion, as we can see.
Oh, and Sunderer is an extremely balanced item.
Oh yes, of course.
We can just see here waves are getting pushed, poked down.
V5,
Little bits of damage
V5
going.
just applying pressure. It's
Oh, it's the
and a
turnaround from
great ult
George.
from Vladimir.
He's gone on to
Four
Imake.
people, I believe, picked up an ult, and the great ult from O'Neal, stopping the second hit of Call of the Forge on, settled it onto the back line. Echo picks up the Hecarim, but Vayne picks up
Oh
the
my
set.
god,
Vladimir
the
picks up
damage from
Thresh.
TC's
Echo
ult!
picks. Oh, that was amazing, and the Silas does go down, but the Silas gets the Echo, and the Vayne gets the final kill.
And with
surely should be
35
in-
seconds,
This could. I don't
Well,
believe it'd be the end.
I
of
don't
the
think
game.
this is going to be the end of the game. Yet another
it's-
DC, no pause it seems this time.
Yeah, I mean, he's dead for 35 seconds. He's got that time to reconnect. But Vayne may pick up the inhib and potentially look to get the top lane inhib here. The wave's in a pretty...
Has to be
Nice
very
position.
careful.
But-
Looks like Tenno wanted to go for the
No.
end, but decided against it in after
yeah,
a while.
especially the respawn timers. The Thresh on 2 seconds. Kai'Sa coming up at the same time and set as well. Vayne doesn't want to risk it. Just leave him behind a ward to see what's going on.
But this
bit of
game
nice
is on a
vision.
nice, absolute knife's edge.
Young Prodigies again find themselves in their own base against V5.
And yet again, a game which is definitely a game they could win. Fourth
Yeah,
in a
it's-
row. Will it be
it's-
an absolute heartbreak for them all? Will they manage to turn it round? It seems like George does not manage to reconnect on the Vlad yet.
I believe the pause will be going down soon. Silas is stood. Okay, maybe. I know.
No.
You would be expecting a pause from V5
You'd
at some
expect a
point.
pause, although I know that he had to leave, so I think this might be him leaving.
Oh,
Um,
that could be
that could be
disaster.
an absolute disaster for V5 in a game which is very close, a game that's definitely winnable. Still potentially winnable, but a lot harder when you don't have that burst from the Vlad to come out.
Yeah. Now you're relying solely on Vayne, and Vayne has been caught out a couple of times, which could make it easier for young prodigies to seemingly, especially in terms of map pressure and map presence, swing it in their favour.
It remains a lot of lower range ADC as well than Kai'Sa is. Does currently
Vayne,
have that Guardian Angel, so will be able to respawn at least once.
the engage now as well on terms of Ocean Drake is spawning in 35 seconds, but teams are playing towards this Baron.
Well, Young Prodigies now moving down towards this Ocean Drake. Does not look like V5 are going to contest it. Pings were coming down from Dot. They have started to move, but they are going to be late to this one. Young Prodigies actually wanting to stack a bush.
They're looking towards cheese it, and Silas just face checks it with the E. The polymorph coming down.
Oh, and that's the Lulu down.
That was the Lulu is gone. Vayne is attempting to do something. Set with an ult on the backline, slowing that Vayne. Echo just getting a triple kill, and the Vayne has gone into the stasis. But I don't think she'll be getting out anytime soon. No, Kai'Sa gets the kill. I-make on this Kai'Sa is truly a force to be reckoned with, but it seems like he can play any ADC.
Interesting one
Kai'Sa,
there. I don't know if having Vlad there would have made the difference. That it would have needed some absolutely miracle play there where he gets a 5-man ultimate EW.
Yeah, the stacked bush may have, especially with how the fight unfolded, where Young Prodigies almost funneled into that bush. Vladimir may have been able to have got the 5-man ult off, but again, it's all hypothetical. He's not here, unfortunately, to turn the tide of the game.
Sandarius, we've been seeing him get the 5-man ults off, 4 5-man ults off this game, but it hasn't managed to really result in much more than V5 winning maybe fights 1-0, and that time they just absolutely got obliterated from the start. You can see it seems to be whichever team engages first does get the win in these team fights. At that time, Young Prodigies got the engage first, so I have to believe that they would have won that team fight even with the Vlad there, considering how hard they won it.
This Thresher is truly playing a man possessed. He's just constantly hooking the right targets. I believe it was Lulu that got hit with the hook in that fight.
Yes, Lulu's definitely the one that you want to take out first. You don't want her to be able to put down that wild growth and put down the annoying polymorphs.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. She did manage to get the polymorph down, I believe, onto the Echo, onto the set at the very start of the fight, but she was then popped like the balloon she is, because she's really squishy.
Yes.
In these team fights, and
very unfortunate. And yet again, we see another game that is trending towards the 40-minute mark, less than a minute now. And Young Prodigy is definitely a team that like to go longer.
And O'Neal engaging, very questionable engage here with the facebreaker coming out from set to counter the engage. Silas stealing the Ornal, which has allowed Kai'Sa to be airborne, and Kai'Sa gets picked off by the
win.
Silas.
It is the 4v3.
Lily's not. But I think that Ornal will just be too tanky here as the set goes down. But Ornal is actually also going to go down as Vayne wasn't picked up by Jetboy, which is good push down mid. Echo and Thresh may not be able to.
TC wants to go in. Look at the Echo clone.
O'Neal has been hooked as well and missing the stun, but Hecarim's HP bar disintegrates after I believe it's the Q from Echo there.
You can tell
hits him.
TC wants to go in right now. He's posturing
he's
for it.
out Qs.
He's trying to get the Ghost into good positions.
Yeah, he's waiting for them to just group that bit too soon. and then just go in and get a very nice 3-man stun. You can see it. He's picturing it in his mind, the hero play
Death
to stop the
sentences.
inhibitor going down. But he does get the shield, but Silas ease away. Hits him with the Q.
So
That's a
much damage
lot
onto
of damage on the
Silas.
Q. He
He does
doesn't
have
even
flash
have...
up.
He can go for this engage. The
Flash
flash,
proto
I
belt?
believe it's E.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
oh, the
proto belt.
proto belt E. Gotta
Oh
love
my
the
god,
engage
so
on
much
the vein.
damage.
That is a lot of damage, but also the lot of damage coming out from the
Forces the
vein
ult
there.
out. He doesn't manage to pick up Dot. Dot getting out there. He was on less than 100 health.
W coming out from I make there, landing on the Lulu. The Lulu.
Oh, and the engage from iMake.
He's
Takes
gotta
out the
get
Lulu.
the
Almost got
Lulu.
Tenno as well. Now just getting
That
the
was
free
very
hit.
selfless. And a flash forward from Set here to face break of the Vayne. But Vayne doesn't get stunned, and I make there. Now just popping out the
You
damage
have
and
to
Set.
believe that's the game.
Yeah, that has surely got to be the game here. This respawn time is you've only got Silas. Silas could go for a hero play, but I don't believe that there's much that he can do to stop the onslaught. As the Call of the Forge God comes out, Thresh hooking the Silas to stop the second hit. The Forge God, absolutely fantastic, and just a layer upon layer of CC. Set asking if Vladimir quit in chat.
No, he had to leave. Very close game though. Definitely not one to get rid of just because the Vlad left towards the end. So close, going either way. It was just whichever teams was getting these picks first. You could see we're winning the team fights. Ultimately, Young Prodigies does manage to come ahead in this game too and finally pick up that win after four extremely close games, putting them on the leaderboard. And that means that exciting river bracket after 2 weeks of river bracket, all the teams are within 2 wins of each other still. We can actually go out and I just now, of course, updated our standings table. Aha, here it is. Beautiful. So we can see after these games in the river brackets, we've had 3 teams that have played 4 games. Young Prodigy sitting at the bottom of the table with 1 win, Madly Mediocre at the top with 3, TLH in second place with 2, SAS Desert and Valkyrie 5 both having played 2 games and picking up 1 win.
Absolutely.
But this is definitely one to point out. We've had so many games that were so close in this River League. I would not have been at all surprised to see this table flipped up exactly the other way around. This is going to be a very close league, and I don't think yet anyone can predict who is actually going to come out on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, River League is a league to keep your eye on, even if you are only here for the Ocean League or supporting a team in the Ocean League. River League is very close. Young Prodigies, you can see it coming together, especially with their team comps. They're looking for very team fight orientated comps. Their team fighting's very good. I'm not sure if they were a team assembled, but I am assuming from their name that they were. But they are a very strong team, and it's all slowly coming together. It could have potentially gone the other way. I think Valkyrie 5 were unlucky to lose George partway through that game. Feel like it could have went the other way,
Yeah,
really, but River
well,
League is just
so close. I feel like Young Prodigy's finally
fate.
got the win that they deserve after those 4 games.
Yeah,
It,
absolutely, absolutely.
it would start to become a bit of a meme about their best team not having won a single game of how many close games they'd had. Yeah, but anyway, we should definitely give a MVP for that last game. I think that it's going to be fairly well. I mean, I think there's 2 people that
I,
definitely could take this MVP. Um,
well, um, as you could probably tell from my commentary, my MVP is just going straight towards the Thresh. The Thresh deserves it 100%. He found the picks. He was very reliable on the engage. He knew Ed's position. He always had that lantern ready, especially when Set went in for the steal of the Drakes. The hooks just seemingly always landed on the key targets. But yeah, to me, the MVP is going to the Thresh.
yeah, I would agree. I see Sandarius um,
saying that the
shouting
Echo.
out Echo in chat. Echo, he did do very well towards the later stages of the game. Had, I would say, a very rough early game. Quite often he was trading quite well with Dot, but he was definitely coming out far worse um,
Yeah, I
in
would I would definitely say that the Echo. Uh,
in
I,
CS. That's it. He was falling down a
yeah,
lot
I
in
would.
CS. My brain is dying.
Yeah, same. He was, especially the trades, like the trades he was trading well, and he knew when to trade. It was just that seemingly he couldn't get a favorable trade, or Silas constantly had something up his sleeve which would allow him to make it a more favorable trade. Uh, so he could then stay in the lane, whereas Echo had to base on lower HP to base and to and allowed the Silas to sort of control the mid lane in terms of wave management. And you could see that especially towards the 20-25 minute mark where Silas was up, I believe, around 50 CS. I believe at one point it was like 87 to 135. So it's really a case of
Yeah.
the Echo coming online. And I believe the Echo was sort of lucky that the Vladimir
It
had to
was
go
that
because,
1,000 gold bounty that
oh,
really started to
yes.
turn it for him. That got him towards that Lich Bane. Also, of course, shout outs to the rest of the team and definitely I make on the
Oh, yeah.
Kai'Sa. Bot lane is a duo lane. As much as there was the set death sentences setting him up, he did have to take those kills, and he did take those kills. Sometimes he went in and just took the kills by himself. There was definitely one or
Yeah.
two times when he did that. A couple of positioning errors, but you could definitely argue for him being the MVP as well. Sandarius
Absolutely.
asking about the graphs. We don't have the graphs. This is a VOD game. Um,
Unfortunately.
so unless we get sent the graphs, there's no way for us to give you the graphs. Um, so yeah, we don't have
The
the graphs.
graphs, I would imagine that Kai'Sa and Echo were on top. The wards, the Lulu was dominating the vision score. I saw she had almost 100 vision score,
Yep,
whereas the Thresh was on around 66, 67 by the end of the game. So just to give you a rough estimate, I believe the Vayne and the Vladimir
would have been
wouldn't top it, but he would
amazing
have
on the
been.
damage.
Oh yeah,
He
he
might
because
have been top, but I think Kai'Sa probably would have edged him out.
yeah, with that Kraken Slayer, as then the upgrade into the Wormfall and Sacrifice, it's
Ah,
a
I think we're
lot of
gonna get
damage.
the damage graphs,
Yeah,
maybe. Um,
I believe it's the Echo in chat that is about to provide us the graphs. But truly two fantastic games, and they were an absolute pleasure to watch and cast over. Especially Young Prodigies, they're always a pleasure to watch. Like no matter what, even though I am the support for Desert,
but
it's just they're incredible. They're an incredible team.
honestly,
It's
they're becoming a little bit of a favorite of mine. It feels
yeah,
so like it's just watching them, and then you get to the end of the games, and every time it's like, oh no, you're so close, and it's just like a fumble at the last second,
just
and
either something goes wrong or the enemy team has an edge in some
or
respect.
gets a pick, or
Yeah,
they're one of those teams that you love to watch because every game is so close.
it's kind of like the Schalke Miracle run,
The
isn't it?
Schalke
Where
Miracle. Oh my God, are you saying they're
young,
going to win
young
every
the
game?
the young
Are they about
prodigies
to win?
miracle run.
Are they about to
I
win their
hope
four
not.
last games?
I hope not, because that means that we're gonna get 2-0'd at some point. But yeah, they're just potentially because of how they're playing, they seemingly also improve game upon game, not even week upon week. But it does tend to be those little fumbles that let them down, and they add up, and it ends up. And let's see here the graph.
Have we got the graph?
The Echo did the most damage with Vladimir, very close second, and the Kai'Sa then oh no, the Vayne coming in third. Guess because she had to step up as the main carry of
Here we
Valkyrie
go.
5,
Give me a
and
second, I
Kai'Sa
can get it
the
up on
fourth.
screen. Uh,
Ooh,
uh, where's my downloads folder? There it is. Boom. Here we go. Look there. There is our damage graph. Um, so we can see, yep, Echo actually did top the graph. Um, we did see a lot of
surprise!
actually
That's a
one
surprise for me.
taps. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
think. I suppose there was actually a lot of trading during lane as well. When you start to take that into account, the amount of times where both mid laners were just put down to under 100 HP, walking out with the
yeah,
ignite still ticking, and then just living on about 5 health. And start to add those
yeah,
in, that is a lot of extra damage thrown in there. I'm a bit surprised that the Kai'Sa's damage was actually kind of lower, I suppose, towards a lot of those the late game team fights that they lost was usually because Kai'Sa was picked out pretty quickly.
yeah,
So it's definitely,
absolutely.
yeah.
Um, but again, it's just showing that I make on that ADC role. He has a massive impact for young prodigies. One of their players to watch and players to really attack. I would guess in either in bans or in lane, but
Well,
it's
I mean, you
really
saw
just
what happened when you ban out 4 ADCs. He just played the Ashe and it looked good as well. So maybe
you
not a
just can't
player
ban
to
out
ban out.
you can't ban out this champion
It's
or this player as well. It's
It's an interesting thing. I have seen players like that where you look at them and you go, there's so much that they play. Why are we
how
wasting a ban on this player? There's no point. They'll just play
yeah,
something else.
exactly. Uh,
It's
but it's yeah, I what Sander Reyes as well said in chat about Vladimir. Yeah, I personally think the game would have swung the other way if Vladimir was still there because he would just be able to pop the Kaiser and the Echo and just really rinse through through Echo all the damage.
I
But
think it would have been very, very close. I think it's very dependent on whether he found the Kai'Sa because each team fight towards the later game, that V5-1, it was because George was getting those ults on the Kai'Sa.
yeah, Young Prodigies just unfortunately found themselves grouped up. Not sure if they were planning on creating a almost like a snare or like a trap for V5 to try and catch out the Vladimir or whatever. But Vlad was just getting those 3-man, 4-man, 5-man ults and that healing where I'm sure there was a part in the game where he went from like a quarter HP back to full because he had a 4-man ult and it was truly something else.
Yep,
Just the healing. But yeah, hats off to both teams. They played incredible League of Legends today.
very good
And
series of games. We do have another set of games to have at some point. They've not been played yet. SAS Arctic do have to play Vengeance Esports at some point. They're
oh,
going to try and get the game. We basically we looked into the rules and they because they couldn't work out a game time. We do have setups for what can happen if this game can't go ahead. Uh, if the game can't be worked out in the next like 3 weeks, Arctic will take the 2 wins, but we're going to try and get the game played within the next 3 weeks, or the game's played, because obviously it's a lot more fun to see and play the games.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
but otherwise, going into this next week, we had a brief chat yesterday about what we really wanted to see. Um, any matchups you're really looking forward to this week?
Um, honestly, after what I've seen today, I believe SAS Desert versus Valkyrie Fire. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Desert player. I'm
Come watch
actually
our game.
yeah, I'm actually taking the week off. Because I'd
hmm
rather do other things at this point in time. But with the way Valkyrie 5 played today, and with how SAS Desert played, well, because I played, but how we played against TLH, um, both seem to want to dominate. Both teams were looking to dominate team fights. Valkyrie 5, both comps very team fight heavy, but also as well, Sandareas, TLH versus Young Prodigies. I think any game with Young Prodigies is looking
Yep.
like a very nice game as well.
Yeah, I think I've got to be ready for these casts to go longer when young prodigies are involved as well, because oh,
Yeah, grab
what?
water, grab popcorn, because you know you're coming in for a wild ride.
I
It's
definitely can't wait to see these games coming up because we could end up with a lot of teams on 3 wins after this. We could end up with
yeah,
3 teams on 3 wins after this week.
Madly Mediocre on break week this week, aren't they? Oh.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, no, yeah, only 3 teams. We could end up
Yeah,
with
because TLH could win one, lose one, so they'll be on 3 wins. Oh, it's River League's looking very close. It's all
it's.
Ocean League could be the exact same.
Oh yeah, TLH might go 1-1 again.
Yeah,
This is
poor TLH. They win one, they lose one, or they lose one, they
the
win one.
absolute meme. They're gonna end up exactly in third place because they've won one and lost one against everyone. Oh, yeah. Anyway,
uh,
I don't think there is too much more to add. So, thanks for casting with me.
yeah, no problem. It was a pleasure.
Hopefully, get you back sometime if you want to. Up to you, of course.
Absolutely,
Can't
it was
force people. Um,
a pleasure. Absolutely, I'll be
and
back.
thanks to everyone for coming to watch. What are we going to do if 3 teams end up on 6 points? We'll get to that if that's starting to look likely.
I
We're
get what I would assume is like a little or what I would say is like a little
mini
bracket
playoff or
where
something.
yeah, so like obviously whoever finished top, because they're all on 6 points, like whoever had the most dominant games, I guess you could say, then is first
Shortest
seed, and
game
then the other
time,
two,
and then the other two, and you, yeah,
yeah,
yep, start
yeah,
best of
absolutely.
3 or something. Yeah, maybe if it's getting too close, the last week will just be like, yeah, go best of 3.
Oh yeah,
We'll see.
actually,
It depends
yeah.
which ones are close. Uh, anyway, yes. Um, thanks everyone for coming to watch. We'll have more games for you later in the week. So far, I know there is one at 2 on Sunday. None of the other 3 have been reorganized just yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll stream Clash on Saturday as well. We'll find out. Right. I will see you guys later. Bye.
Goodbye, bye.